Ever wondered if there's substantial evidence to believe in Jesus Christ? Today, we're setting out on a gripping journey, a journey that takes us deep into the heart of one of the most influential books of our time, The Case for Christ, by Lee Strobel. This book doesn't just ask us to believe, it presents us with a case, a compelling argument based on evidence, historical records, and personal testimonies. It invites us to examine the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, not just through the lens of faith, but also through the lens of factual evidence. This journey we're embarking on isn't just about accepting, but about questioning, investigating, and seeking truth. We're not just looking for belief, but for understanding. So are you ready to delve into the evidence, to question what you know, and maybe, just maybe, see things in a new light? Let's delve into this journey of discovery together. History, an unbiased witness, has its say about Jesus Christ. Let's delve into the fascinating world of historical documents. Ever heard of the burstiness factor? It's a term used in the field of historiography to describe the sudden increase in the number of references to a person or event in historical documents. This is often indicative of a significant historical occurrence. Now, when we apply the burstiness factor to Jesus Christ, we find something quite remarkable. In a world where documentation was not as prevalent as today, there's a noticeable surge in references to Jesus during and after his lifetime. This surge is seen across a diverse range of sources, from Roman historians to Jewish texts, and of course, the New Testament. Speaking of the New Testament, let's consider its reliability. It's easy for skepticism to creep in when we're talking about documents written 2,000 years ago, isn't it? But here's where the New Testament stands out. The sheer number of manuscript copies, over 5,000 in Greek alone, dwarfs any other historical document from that era. Additionally, the time gap between the original writings and our earliest copies is relatively short, especially when compared to other ancient documents. This lends credence to the fidelity of the New Testament accounts. Moreover, these accounts were written by people who were either direct eyewitnesses to the events they described, or they were recording the testimonies of those who were. This lends an additional layer of authenticity to their accounts. Of course, historical evidence, like any evidence, isn't flawless. But when we weigh the burstiness factor, the number and closeness of the manuscript copies, and the eyewitness nature of the New Testament accounts, we're left with a compelling case for the historical Jesus. Seems like history does recognize Jesus, doesn't it? The cross, a symbol of suffering and redemption, but what does it signify? A question that takes us on a journey back more than 2,000 years to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. But this isn't just a story from an old parchment. It's a historical event marked by medical and forensic evidence. Crucifixion, a method of execution reserved for the worst of criminals, was a brutal and inhumane practice in the Roman Empire, and Jesus, despite being innocent, was subjected to this horrific form of capital punishment. The physical suffering he endured was unimaginable. Before even reaching the cross, Jesus was flogged, a process where the victim was whipped with a short whip made of braided leather thongs with metal balls and pieces of sharp bone woven into them. Each stroke of this instrument would have cut deeper into the skin, causing severe bleeding and unimaginable pain. The empty tomb, a symbol of hope for many, but is it plausible? As we delve deeper into the narrative surrounding the resurrection of Jesus, we encounter various theories that aim to dismiss this pivotal event. One such theory is the swoon hypothesis, suggesting Jesus didn't really die on the cross but merely fainted, later recovering in the tomb. However, the brutal reality of Roman crucifixions, alongside the forensic and medical evidence we've previously discussed, makes this theory highly unlikely. Another theory is the hallucination hypothesis, which proposes that the post-resurrection appearances of Jesus were merely hallucinations experienced by his followers. Yet, the diversity and number of the appearances, spanning over 40 days, makes mass hallucination an implausible explanation. Then, there's the theft hypothesis, which suggests that Jesus' body was stolen from the tomb. But who would have the motive and the means to steal the body? The disciples? Unlikely, as they were in hiding, fearing for their own lives. The Jewish or Roman authorities? Even less likely, as they had no reason to steal the body and then deny knowing its whereabouts. Now let's examine the plausibility of the empty tomb. The Gospels tell us that Jesus' tomb was discovered empty by women. In the first century, women's testimonies were not highly regarded. If the disciples were fabricating a story, wouldn't they have chosen more reliable witnesses by the standards of their culture? This detail lends credibility to the historical authenticity of the empty tomb narrative. Post-resurrection appearances are also a significant aspect of the resurrection narrative. Jesus is reported to have appeared to various individuals and groups, including skeptics and opponents. These appearances transformed lives, turning doubting Thomas into a believer and the persecutor Saul into the Apostle Paul. So, as we sift through the theories and explore the plausibility of the resurrection, we find that the simplest explanation often aligns with the truth. The resurrection, more than a belief, has its roots in reality. Has Christianity truly changed lives? This question prompts us to delve into the heart of what faith can accomplish. Let's take a step back and explore the personal testimonies of individuals whose lives have been radically changed by their faith. Imagine a life mired in despair, where hope is but a distant memory. Now, picture a spark of faith igniting a flame, banishing the darkness and illuminating a new path. This is the journey many individuals embark on when they open their hearts to Christianity. They speak of a transformative power that lifts them from the depths of despair, instilling in them a newfound sense of purpose and joy. Take, for instance, the story of a woman once gripped by addiction. She was trapped in a cycle of self-destruction with no apparent way out. Then, one day, she discovered a faith community that embraced her, offering her the support she so desperately needed. Through her faith in Christ, she found the strength to overcome her addiction, to rebuild her life. Then there's the account of a man filled with anger and bitterness, a man whose heart was hardened by the trials of life. He found solace in the teachings of Christ, in the promise of forgiveness and redemption. His anger melted away, replaced by a profound sense of peace and compassion. These stories, and countless others, bear witness to the transformative power of Christianity. They highlight how faith can inspire change, fostering growth, healing, and redemption. They demonstrate that faith is not merely a belief, it's a force that can alter the course of one's life. But these transformations are not confined to the individual. They ripple outwards, touching the lives of those around them. Families are healed, communities are strengthened, societies are uplifted. The power of faith, it seems, is not just personal, it's communal, it's universal. So, has Christianity truly changed lives? The answer lies in the testimonies of those who have experienced its transformative power. It lies in the smiles of the redeemed, in the joy of the healed, in the strength of the restored. It lies in the evidence of lives transformed. The power of faith, evident in the lives it transforms. Questions and doubts, the fuel for any investigation. What about Christianity? It's perfectly natural to harbor doubts and questions about something as profound as faith. In fact, it's healthy. It's these questions that propel us towards a deeper understanding, that urge us to peel back the layers of the familiar and plunge into the heart of the matter. Christianity, like any belief system, is not exempt from this scrutiny. One of the common objections raised about Christianity is the question of evidence. How do we know that Jesus existed, that he performed miracles, that he was crucified and rose from the dead? These are legitimate questions, and they deserve legitimate answers. The evidence for the existence of Jesus and the events of his life are well documented in historical texts. Multiple independent sources, including Roman and Jewish historians, corroborate the New Testament accounts. Even beyond the Bible, there is a vast body of historical and archaeological evidence that supports the fact that Jesus of Nazareth was a real person who lived 2,000 years ago. But what about the miracles, the crucifixion, the resurrection? Again, these are not blind beliefs, but claims rooted in historical and empirical evidence. The accounts of Jesus' miracles and his execution are corroborated by multiple independent sources. The resurrection, while extraordinary, is supported by the evidence of the empty tomb and the numerous post-resurrection appearances documented in the New Testament and other historical texts. Lastly, there's the question of relevance. Does Christianity matter in our modern world? is it still relevant? The answer lies in the transformational power of Christianity. Countless individuals have experienced profound changes in their lives, finding purpose, forgiveness, and hope through their faith. Skepticism and doubt are not roadblocks to faith, but catalysts for deeper understanding. They encourage us to ask, to seek, and to knock. And when we do, we often find that the answers have been there all along, waiting to be discovered. Every question deserves an answer, every doubt a clarification. We've covered a lot of ground. Let's revisit. We delved into Lee Strobel's book, The Case for Christ, examining its significance and impact. We explored historical evidence for Jesus, highlighting the burstiness factor in historical documents and the reliability of New Testament accounts. We investigated the crucifixion of Jesus, discussing the medical and forensic evidence and understanding the physical suffering endured by Jesus on the cross. We debunked theories attempting to explain away the resurrection, examining the plausibility of the empty tomb and post-resurrection appearances. We showcased personal testimonies of individuals whose lives have been changed by faith, highlighting the transformative power of Christianity. We acknowledged common objections and questions regarding Christianity, addressing skepticism and doubts. All these discussions have led us on a journey of discovery, a journey that has only just begun. We've scratched the surface of a vast and profound topic, a journey of discovery indeed, but it doesn't end here. Your thoughts, your questions matter to us, and we're here today to address some of the queries that you, our valued viewers, have sent our way. We appreciate your engagement and your curiosity, and we're thrilled to dive into this Q&A session. First off, we've received a number of questions about the historical evidence for Jesus. Some of you have wondered about the burstiness factor in historical documents and how it relates to the New Testament accounts. This is a fascinating topic, and we're glad you've brought it up. The burstiness factor is essentially a measure of the frequency and intensity of certain events or information appearing in historical records. When applied to the New Testament, it can offer some compelling insights into the reliability of these accounts. Next, we've had queries about the crucifixion of Jesus, specifically about the medical and forensic evidence of crucifixion, as well as the physical suffering endured by Jesus on the cross. It's a grim topic, but an important one. The crucifixion was a brutal event, and understanding the physical reality of it can deepen our understanding of the sacrifice made. We've also had questions about the resurrection of Jesus. Many of you are interested in the theories that attempt to explain away the resurrection, as well as the plausibility of the empty tomb and post-resurrection appearances. These are complex issues that have been debated by scholars for centuries, and we're eager to delve into them further. Lastly, we've received a number of personal testimonies from individuals whose lives have been transformed by faith. Your stories are inspiring, and we are honored to share them. They truly highlight the transformative power of Christianity. Remember, your questions and comments are always welcome. They spark interesting discussions and help us all to deepen our understanding. So keep them coming. Whether you're a longtime believer, a curious skeptic, or somewhere in between, we want to hear from you. Your participation enriches this journey for all of us. Every journey has an end, but also a new beginning. Just as we're wrapping up our exploration of the case for Christ, we're simultaneously opening doors to a world of deeper understanding and personal growth. This journey we've embarked on together isn't meant to stop here. It's meant to inspire you, to propel you forward, to prompt you to delve deeper into the profound mysteries of faith. Throughout our series, we've examined historical evidence. We've looked at the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus through a forensic lens. We've heard transformative tales of faith, and we've addressed skepticism and doubts. We've invited you to question, to ponder, to challenge, and to learn. And we hope that this exploration has not only enlightened you, but also ignited a spark within you to continue this journey on your own. The beauty of faith is that it's a lifelong journey, an ongoing exploration of truth and understanding. It's a personal journey, but it's also a shared experience, a collective quest for wisdom and enlightenment. And it's a journey that's enriched by sharing, by dialogue, by listening to others' experiences and perspectives. So, we invite you to continue this exploration. If you've found this journey enriching, if you found it thought-provoking, if you found it challenging or inspiring, then we encourage you to share it. Share it with your friends, your family, your community. Invite them to join the journey, to explore the case for Christ, to challenge their beliefs, to seek truth and understanding. And if you want to continue receiving thought-provoking content like this, then we encourage you to like this video, to subscribe to our channel, to become part of our community of explorers and seekers. We have more journeys planned, more explorations to embark on, more truths to uncover. The journey continues, and we hope you'll be a part of it. Until next time.